centuries gone by, there are many legends of beasts harassing the mortals of this world. But have you ever wondered what the gods feared? Gather round and I'll tell you of creatures whose power fill the seas and consume the sun. Loki, a name most of you are familiar with, as he was the infamous god of trickery and so-called blood brother of Odin. It's questionable as to why Odin would allow such a person into his inner circle. Loki's origin, from what we do know, is that he started out in Jotunheim. He was the son of the giants Farbati and Lefay. When Loki grew up, he pulled whatever feet he pulled so he would fall into Odin's good graces. From there, well, it's been a rocky path to say the least. Throughout his time on Asgard, Loki caused all sorts of mischief to all he came across. Aesir, Vanir, human, Jotun, it didn't matter. All Loki desired was to spread chaos across the realms. But even this trickster would fall victim to the classic desires. While traveling across Jotunheim, he came across a giantess named Angerboda. Then, after 6 months and 1 night, the giantess brought forth 3 terrifying children into the world. The first was a woman, both beautiful and morbid. Half of her skin was smooth, while the other was rotten and decaying. This was hell. The second of these children was an immense serpent, so large that it nearly destroyed Jotunheim. The Aesir tried to kill it, but to no avail. Realizing they had only one realm that could accept its size, they dumped it into the Sea of Midgard. The creature became known as Jormungandr, or the World Serpent. The final of these children was a wolf, large enough to consume the sun in a single gulp. This was Fenrir. After their birth, Odin realized these 3 children would bring about their very destruction. Jormungandr would kill Thor, Hel would refuse to release Baldur, and Odin himself would be devoured by the wolf. As such, the Aesir bound each of these children until they could figure out how to kill them. Hel, of course, more likely by her own will, went into Helheim. Jormungandr could not be killed, so instead it was forced to stay in the oceans of Midgard, with the Aesir keeping it at bay. Fenrir also could not be killed, and this monster in particular evoked fear from all the gods, as he would bring about the Allfather's death. So the Aesir made sure it was always under their watchful eye in Asgard. This proved a horrible idea, as the wolf continued to grow, and like its serpent brother, threatened to overthrow the god's realm. Quickly, they bound the wolf in chains, and were remarkably able to calm it down, saying that the chains were a test of its power. So whenever Fenrir tried to escape, his screams and howls and rattles immediately told the gods of his attempt. The chains wouldn't hold him, so the gods called forth a dwarf from Svartalfheim. Taking the sound of a cat's footsteps, the beard of a woman, the roots of mountains, the breath of fish, and the spittle of a bird, the dwarf was able to forge a chain so powerful that nothing, not even Fenrir, could break it. However, at this point the great wolf became mindful of the gods' tricks, and once they presented the chain to the wolf, he refused to put it on, unless one of the gods would place their hand in his mouth, showing that they both trust each other. It was then that the god Tyr stepped forward and said that he would do it. Placing his hand inside Fenrir's mouth, the gods put the chain around the wolf's neck, and the moment Fenrir realized he couldn't escape, well, now you know why Tyr has one hand. Unable to escape the chain, Fenrir was transported to an unknown, desolate place and was tied to a boulder. A sword was placed in the wolf's jaws and held them open. Enraged, the wolf kept howling, and his mouth eventually foamed. The foam went everywhere and formed a river called Van, or expectation. And thus, this would be where Fenrir would remain, until Ragnarok. However, this would not be the end of the gods' problems, for soon they would deal with the loss of their youth, the subject of the next myth.